Hey everybody, welcome to Just Being Honest with Mills Lane. I am Mills Lane. Tonight's a special broadcast and we're going to meet the cast of the Nacirema Society. You all have been following me for the last couple months as I embarked on this new journey of theater, live acting. Um, is somebody moving their mic? I can hear some feedback. But I want to introduce you. I only have four of my cast members here, and hopefully some others will join me. So I'm gonna introduce you to first in my eyesight. I see Lisa Hill-Corley. We'll start with Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa. Start. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and we'll keep moving.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hill-Corley. I played Grace Dunbar, and I've been acting around the area since 2000, so that long. So that was my first time at LTA. It took that long. No, but it was a really great experience.
All right, Kelly, you there? You're next.
Ooh, am I off mute?
Nope, you are. I hear you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kelly Santos de Jesus. I played Marie Dunbar. I've been acting since 2021. Um, and this is my first performance at LTA, and I had a really great time, and I loved working with the cast.
All right, Jimmy, you're next.
Hi guys, I'm Jumi Lash, and I'm kind of new to the professional side of acting. I've been acting for a while now, since high school, um, and I play Lily Campbell Jackson. And it was just really fun experience working with, first of all, an all Black cast, and it just felt like I gained another family. So I'm really excited to keep this relationship going with you guys.
All right, and Barbara.
I am Barbara Cooper. I shouldn't be speaking because my character had no lines. I played Jesse Roberts. So I have been acting actually for kind of a long time, but I stopped for a while and now I'm back at it because the day job was taking up too much of my time. But I'm ready to quit the day job because I'm going to Hollywood.
Listen, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I'm not sure who I'm getting feedback from, but let me see if I
Maybe
can.
it's me.
It's Barbara. I'm telling on you, Barbara. It's her.
Yeah, I think it's me.
Because you're moving your phone.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
me.
Okay. All right. Stop doing that, Barbara. Stop it. I
I ain't
had a
moving.
great experience, ladies, and just like Jimmy said, I first time for me though, all Black cast. I could not have asked for a better group of human beings to do this with, to pull me along, pick me up, because I swear my face was on that floor so many times in rehearsal. This is before we got to the stage. I'm
I'm sorry.
amazed at what we created once we hit the stage, because I literally had no idea who Janet Logan was going to be through me. And I figured it out real quick. I was like, okay, I think she's messy. She got to be messy, and I could pull on my improv to make it work for that character. But I just want, I want everybody who to meet you all, because everybody who came and that I know that met you all, Barbara, you killing me.
That ain't me. I ain't moving now because I put it down.
You have to mute yourself. That's you.
Is it still me?
Yep.
You muted.
There we go.
We're gonna mute you, and then you raise your hand when you ready to talk. The word amazing was used so many times to describe us. You can't fake that. Like, in the chemistry that we had, you can't fake that. So I want to know, from a couple of you, what was your experience like? And I'll start with Jimmy.
Oh yeah, it was a really great experience. Honestly, just watching everyone and learning from everyone, especially the more seasoned people. And I learned to not be as harsh on myself when it comes to, I'm my own biggest critic when it comes to acting. So I always loved how everyone would always be so encouraging whenever I thought like, oh man, I just botched this scene. And then I come back and everyone would be like, oh my God, you were so good. I'm like, oh, really? I was? Okay. But I really love just how everyone just treated everyone else on the cast. And no one made anyone feel small or like they weren't doing what they were supposed to. Or if they got any harsh criticism, we were still there for each other to back each other up. So it was an experience I'll never forget.
Hashtag same. All right, Kelly, what you think?
Just to piggyback on what Jumi said, the really amazing thing with this cast is that there were no egos. We all got along so well, and from the beginning, we were a family from the beginning, and that's super refreshing. I've learned a lot from so many people. Because you never stop learning. No matter how long you've been doing this, you can always learn something from someone. And there were a lot of opportunities to learn from everybody in this cast. And I loved that. And I love the community. I love the camaraderie. And I love that we have formed lifelong friendships because I think that's rare. And I definitely cherish that from this cast.
Love it. What about you, Lisa?
So I've been at this a while. I'm in a couple of casts, and people always say, "Oh, women cast. How was that?" As if it's supposed to be some terrible experience. And it's always been my best. I mean, and we love Evan, you know what I mean? But that's always my best experience. All women, and then especially all Black casts from auditions on is always amazing, because even in the audition room, you walk out going, "I want everyone to get in the role, and whoever does."
Yep.
I think it was Jaquel that said, well, if I don't get it, she played Alpha Campbell. If I don't get it, that means some Black woman did, and I'm all right with that. And I was like, girl, and this was at the initial, this wasn't even a callback yet, you know. She was just saying, we're just here, and everybody applauded for each other. And that just kept on through the whole show. It wasn't just chemistry in the lines. Like, there was just care of people like watching out for each other. Oh, let me straighten this. Oh, I got your pearls. I got, oh, you forgot your earring, like people taking care of each other throughout the process. And that was everyone, ranging from people who are brand new all the way to up to people who have done this a couple of years. And that's just, this is one of these casts, whenever I see any of y'all, I'm just gonna be like, wherever you are, because it's just, you just be in my heart. Definitely.
Agreed. All right, Barbara. I'm trying to unmute Barbara. I think she's frozen. What's happening, Barbara? Uh-oh.
Yeah, she hasn't moved in a second.
Okay.
Wait, I think she did. Her face changed.
Oh, shoot.
Technology.
Tonight, I can't unmute her. Yeah. Barbara, if you hear, I'm going to remove her and then
let her come back in. Yeah. Jaquel put it in the chat. I thought she was coming.
She said 7:30.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Put it in the chat. That's unusual.
Okay, she gonna go in and come back. Okay, here's Jaquel right here.
Mommy's here.
Jaquel, I see you.
Okay, I'm trying to get back.
Alpha Campbell Jackson.
Alpha Campbell Jackson now.
Company?
That night when she said Jackson, she put the emphasis on it.
We were on the back like, ooh.
Lovely to see you. And what a surprise.
What a surprise. That we look forward to that.
I think we all had the most fun backstage, just like listening, even though we couldn't see, just listening.
Right.
So whenever someone would do
something. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
I'm not sure. Let me look. I think I'm on twice. I'll be back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, whenever someone would do something different with their lines, we'd be like,
oh.
Yeah, especially Robin. She would change it almost every night and just make it funnier.
Yes.
So that was really interesting or funny to listen to backstage.
Barbara, you back?
Yeah, Robin was hilarious because I would be on the side just dying laughing because she would just be so funny. And I guess I kind of felt like Robin and you, Lisa, you played a space so well. So it was such a good thing to see, some to be in the space and to watch people know how to work that space.
Thank
Is that
you. Thank
true?
you.
Hey,
Yes.
Jaquel, hey
Hi.
Jaquel,
Hi, everyone. Good evening, ladies.
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
The question on the floor is, tell us a little bit about your experience in the play.
Okay. Was Barbara finished?
Barbara, Barbara in and out? You back?
I'm done.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Oh, I miss y'all faces. Okay. So where do I start? I mean, I heard folks talking, and I agree. I think it started even with the audition, because I mean, I remember even auditioning with Jumi. I think that was a callback. Actually, we did the scene together. And I don't know if she felt it then. I felt it then, and I was hoping that she had got picked for that role.
Did, yeah,
you did.
I did.
Okay.
I was like, that's mom.
Yeah, I thought that was a good thing too.
And even the audition, I was so happy to see so many Black females show up, for the audition and get to hear the process. I am brand new to theater. I mean, I kind of stumbled into it, right before COVID and just fell in love. I mean, literally just fell in love with it. And it's such a challenge and it's so hard. And I push myself to the limit sometimes, but this is one thing I'm like, I'm gonna figure this thing out and I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I have been so fortunate to have wonderful directors and wonderful castmates the entire time. But this truly will be the most memorable experience for me. I still think about y'all. I don't know about y'all, but y'all popping into dreams and thoughts and all. And all kind of stuff. And I mean, that's going to be forever, I think, because it was such a good experience. Even when there was some lows, we always found a way, to get out of it and to see it come together the way it did. And I do credit Eleanor because she knew the cast. I mean, she must have seen something in all of us to put us together because it would not have been the same if it wasn't for the cast, that she selected, but I believe that we were all committed to doing a good show. And that commitment just goes left, right, up and down. And I'm so happy that everyone just stretched out themselves and made it the show that I think is going to go down in history. So
I'm saying it is. We made history. I mean, I felt like I really wish that this was being documented, professionally, because this is a moment. And the fact that we all felt that in this theater, 90-year-old theater, and just we turned that theater out. That theater will never be the same. That dressing room will never be the same. Our conversations that we had, and again, like Lisa said, the caring part for each other and picking up, y'all know I'll be like, oh, I just give a look. They're like, Camilla, don't you start that shit. Like, don't do that. Don't do it. And I'm like, you're right. Stop doing that, and just picking me up over and over again. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? And the chemistry, you just cannot, I cannot for the life of me figure if there was one extra person in this scenario, it wouldn't be the same. Like it had to be us. It had to be at this time.
Right.
Right.
What are, I saw the show, which, again, I'm not proud. I wish everybody else got to see the show, but I got to see the show. It was fantastic. But about halfway through our auditions, I kept saying, Oh my gosh. If we pull this off, this is going to be so hilarious. This is going to be so good. And that's exactly what we did.
Mm-hmm.
I had people saying, well, can you all travel? Can you all do that? Can you bring it to this town? Can you do
I
this?
wish. Yeah.
That? I wish if I could
Mhm.
only do this, and people have been saying, are you going to do something else? What are you going to do next? And I have to pause because I know me and timing and pressures of real life. So I would be hard pressed. I know I can do it now, but the time and the effort to put into it, it would have to be
Yeah, it takes
special again to
And
do
can
it.
I just say, like, there's always that worry about, oh, I'm not going to get it. Oh, if I get out, or if I'm not, it will always be there. So wait for your time.
Yeah.
There's one thing I've learned: you can
Right.
wait for your time. You could say, I'm not going to do a show in the holidays because I'm done with that. There'll be stuff in January and February. It'll be fine. Take your time and choose your project, because will everything be this experience? No, but like, you can choose the best that you can for yourself, and it will be there. It will be there.
Well, Nisha's here. I think she said she's backstage.
All right, let me let her in.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that her backstage? I saw that message.
I wish I didn't even see it. Hey, Wanisha.
Hi.
Welcome
I
to
don't
the
do it.
show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad
There
to
she
be on.
is.
Listen, we're glad
Hey,
to have
hey.
you on. I'm hoping we can fill up the screen right now with more people. I wish everybody had time to do this tonight. But Wanisha, introduce yourself to the audience and tell us who you played and what was this experience like for you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Wanisha, and I played Camilla. I'm joking. I was actually.
You played me well, girl.
Thank you. I was the understudy for Janet Logan. I went on 3 nights during the run, and I had such a phenomenal experience with this cast. Like you said, this has been a very special moment because in LTA's history, it's only the second Black play. But only that, you have an opportunity to tell the story of, a prominent family during the civil rights movement. You take that opportunity, even if it is fictional. As we know, so many people have lived that experience. And so I just thought it was a good opportunity to honor that time. And also, I had a wonderful time because I was a debutante myself back in high school. And so I dedicated my performance to my mom, who she really helped me be who I am today, my late mother. And so I'm happy to be here representing her and with you all tonight.
Listen, we do our warm-ups in your mirror. So when I saw the picture of you and your mom, I was like, oh my God, I had to pause for a minute. That was so special that you had that there for you. Tell us about, was there something that stuck out in your mind, like a really, your Friday night performance that I saw, you were on point. And can't nobody drop that notepad like you.
Thank you. That Friday night, I would definitely say stood out to me. I had a lot of wonderful support. My coworkers were in attendance. My nephew, who is very precious, he's only 12, but he saw it and he thought the show was funny. So just seeing all of that was amazing. But as you mentioned, the notepad scene, that was my favorite part. You know what? If the director wants me to be extra, love you, or I'm gonna give it all I have. So I said, let me throw some choreography in here. And I just did my best to try to channel Janet Logan. Another favorite part of the process is one of my good friends from Virginia Tech. She's actually an anchor on Fox 5. And so her show comes on every night at 8:00. And she still came to see my show Wednesday. She drove straight from Fox and got there right as soon as she could. And I'm so glad she was able to come because I surely was calling her like, girl, the director said I need to have a reporter voice. Do I sound okay? And so she said that I nailed it, but she also said that the cast did such a wonderful job. And so I'm glad to leave that impact with the audience.
I love that. Let's talk about the support. You know, all of us had people at some point in time there, but talk about what that meant to you, Lisa, having your family come, some of your friends, old co-workers. Let's start with you, Lisa.
It was, this one especially was just phenomenal for them to see. Like I've told many of y'all, my father was from Montgomery, lived there at the time. No, I guess he was in high school by then and then moved, but like he grew up there. So he knew the references. He's read the, the paper that we're talking about, the advertiser. He had several of the places we mentioned, the hotel, things like that. He knew all of that. He's a nostalgia person anyway, so he would have known all of those. And my parents I kept calling them Lily and Bobby because they were roughly the age of the college age students at the time. And, they love to see whatever I do. But this one I think was very special because we were, I dedicate this play to my grandmother because basically her and my great grandmother were who I could just basically channel as far as like the grace and all of that was my grandmother. And then the witty retorts, that was my great grandmother. She used to say stuff like that all the time that Grace would say. And just to watch that and then have them talk to me about it for so long, dinner afterwards. Usually people are like, "That's a great job. Anyway, I'm having the salmon." We talked about the play for a long time after that. And she said their only note for the play was that we would have known where the maids lived because they would have all lived on the same side of town. Otherwise, it was very realistic.
I love it. How about you, Kelly?
The support is phenomenal. It always makes you feel good. My sister and my parents, and my sister and her family, my youngest nephew being 14, they have come to like everything that I have done. And this play was really special because it was an all Black cast. It was a comedy. They really enjoyed it. And that was very special to me. And I think it was the first Sunday performance. My college roommate drove down from West Virginia and surprised me. And I had no idea she was going to come. And it meant the world to me. And I didn't know how much that really affected me. And when I saw her, I started crying. And I'm not that much of a crier.
Opposite of me.
It was just a really special moment, and I'm glad I got to share that with her, and I'm glad I got to see her. But it's always wonderful when people care enough to come and see you. And I think I know you're probably not going, or you're probably going to go last, Camila, but I'm going to give you your flowers now. You probably had the most amount of people to come to the show genuinely to see you do your art and have your performance. And we've always told you, I think we told you this from the beginning, all of those people coming is a testament to the person that you are, because you are an amazing woman, an amazing actress. Just seeing your people was also inspiring to me.
It was.
Thank you.
ATL need to pay you. In a crowd for them.
People are always so generous to the rest of us. You know, it was like
they loved y'all.
They were so lovely to everybody that they met from the cast. Everyone who came to see you was always so nice.
They totally genuine. And thank you, Kelly. You said that out almost every night. I was like, Lord, they're gonna hate me. They're gonna hate me. But I mean, no, I'm just playing in that. I know y'all didn't, and it was all love. But yes, and I don't have to wait to go last. Yes, I receive all of that. The love was phenomenal, surprising, overwhelming. People traveling from far and near, people 20, 30 years back showing up just to see the play. Like, totally one of the top 5 experiences of my life. All right.
Yeah, and talking about people from the past, I had I had 4 of my friends who came from the public defender's office where I used to work when I was a baby attorney way back in the day. So I do have to acknowledge them too. I haven't seen them for years, and that was really special.
And I watched people in the crowd. Like I know Lisa and Robin, y'all would say, I look straight to the back. I don't look at faces. I was like, well, I got to sit here. I'm going to have to look at somebody. So when I would see people, and it was only that night when my girlfriend Dee Dee and her daughter came and I shared that she's dealing with breast cancer, that front row saw them, totally lost my place. I think that was a night where I was like, I'm sorry.
But it worked. It totally worked.
Lisa knew, smelled that from a mile away. It was like, let's keep moving. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Jaquel, what you think?
I think the crowds were great. Obviously, when you put feelers out, you ask people to come, you hope they show up, but you can't control folks. So I have to try to have, the mindset of you're doing a performance for whoever is in the crowd, and you just go with that. And even when we had, those Wednesdays, which was like the wonk wonk days, you still, perform like it's a full house, and that's, I think that's a mindset that I needed to have, to kind of keep me going through it. But I just love to hear, the excitement in the audience. And you can tell when there were, lay folks there, and then there were family and friends were there. I mean, the whole atmosphere, was just different. And I think one time Lisa came back and said, I hear my coworker, or somebody was in her voice. I mean, she was like, Lisa said, I think she's in the front row or something like that, and I know Jumi was nervous one night because some of her coworkers were coming and stuff. So I just think it's fun. It's exciting just to have people to come and watch the show. And even if it's not my direct family, but even having the cast family come in and support, I just think it's a wonderful thing just to have that, because it just makes you feel that it was worth it, and to get the feedback. I mean, obviously we're performing, you want some feedback, right? So to get that either through claps or comments afterward, it's a good thing. I hope that doesn't make us narcissists, but it's a good thing, especially when we put in the work, because we worked so hard to put together that show. And then it kind of just flowed, we put the work in and then we're able to flow with it. So I thought the audiences were great. And I applaud all of y'all for being able to get your folks to come out. I think it was great.
Yeah. And I know that, I'm so blessed to have you all. We're so happy to take pictures with my friends and family. And I know people love moments, and those were moments for them that, they will have. And anyway, Jumi, you're next.
Oh, really quickly. I don't know if Selena is backstage. Do you see her on there?
Yeah, I thought I saw her too.
She could just be watching and commenting. I don't know if she's backstage or not.
I don't see anybody.
I thought I saw a message.
I'll look. Go ahead, Jumi.
Yeah, so the support was really good. I don't have family here, or at least I found out I had family here, but they didn't come because I invited them really late. But my close friends here, they did show up for me, my coworkers, who I just started this position about 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And they were like my biggest advertisers. Every meeting we were on, oh, Jumi's the actress here. She has a show. Maybe we should send out an invite for everyone.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh, God. So they still talk about acting in their, because I work for a nonprofit, an environmental conservation nonprofit. They're like, well, since you're the actress, whenever we do anything that has to do with film or whatever, we're gonna ping you to be the face for the company. And I'm like, but no, they were really supportive. And then my friends, a lot of them came closer to the end of the run, which is really just really great to see them, and people that never actually go to theater shows or plays, just hearing their feedback and hearing how much they loved it and it was funny, and they would go see another play because of this. That was really rewarding too. Mm-hmm. And I had people ask questions like about the society, Nacirema Society, like, oh, was this actually something that happened back then? Do you know more about the history of this? Like, how prominent were these families? and I wish I had more answers, but yeah, it was really great
Hey.
to be able to be part of retelling, well, not retell, well, yeah, I guess telling history, and having people wanting
Isn't
to
that
know
somebody
more.
working?
It was really rewarding. And then also everyone who brought their family and friends and coworkers, they were all so nice to all of us. So that was really, whenever I'd go down and I didn't have anyone there to see me, I didn't feel out of place because everyone that was there was still
It's really nice. Yeah.
everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just really good to see people showing up for for all of us. And the nights Tiffany and Wanisha went on, you guys brought crowds.
Yeah.
I know Camilla brought crowds every night, but you guys brought
That's
everybody.
true.
And that was great.
great.
Really great. I loved seeing just seeing that support. But yeah. I'm
Yeah. No, thank you, Jimmy. Barbara, what do you think?
For me, I didn't think about it until later, and to think about the show. Like my son and my grandkids came to see me, and I told people that I was actually in a show, but I really didn't give much information so that they could come see me. But anyway, I realized later that I probably should have, because it would have helped fill the seats if I had just told people to just actually come. Plus, it was it was a historical piece, and it was an entertaining piece. So you could take something away from it, and it had life lessons in it. It had so much to offer any audience that would want to see it. So my takeaway from it is the next time not to just think about the show itself, and to bring people in just to see good work, because it was very good work.
Agreed. Thank you. Selena, can you unmute? I can unmute you. You ready to talk?
I don't know. It's kind of like noisy where I am, but can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
We can hear you and them too.
Yes.
Selena, just
So
introduce yourself and tell us, about your experience in the play.
okay. So my name is Selena Tom Johnson, and I played Gracie Dunbar in the play The Nacirema Society. Request Your Honor. I'm not gonna say it all.
I'm about to say, girl, do you know it all? Because I don't.
No. But it was a good experience. It was really, I think everybody has kind of echoed, my sentiments. It was great working with, a group of amazing people. I think it was just, I really, really, really enjoyed my time, even though with work and everything, it was a little bit stressful at times. I just felt like there was just positive vibes the whole time. And I really liked that. I love that we were able to tell a different story from what we're sometimes used to seeing in Black theater. And I am proud to say that we were part of that, and just bringing the eloquence and the class and all of that. But yeah, it was great working with each one. I think like I learned so much from everybody in the group. And I think for me, like that's something that I'm going to take with me in like any of my future endeavors. And I definitely think um it was a good place for me to like, like my foray back into theater. I think like this was like a good experience for me to believe in theater and creating and having fun while creating. So yeah, it was great.
I appreciate that. And I just think that everybody in the cast helped me, ran lines with me, told me maybe think about it this way, and I was like, okay, well, I'm home, and some of you were a little, I remember Jumi, you were helping me one day, and I felt that you didn't want to come off like I'm telling you something. I'm just, and I was like, no, say what you got to say. Like, I'm okay. I can receive criticism. I want this to be good, so I appreciate each of you for giving me a different way to think about it. I mean, like I told before you all got on, I could not embody Janet until I got to the stage, like literally until lights up. All of the stuff that I think was funniest to the audience was improv, was me on
Mhm.
the spot putting it together. And then I was like, oh, okay, I got a rhythm here. Okay, this is who Janet's going to be. I think going into it, I kept worrying about who Eleanor wanted me to create. You know, I wanted her vision and just tell me, just show me, you know, make the noise. I'll try to mimic the noise. What do you want? She kept saying pounce. And I'm like, I ain't no cat. Like, I don't know, you know, but once I think what she was building me up and each of you were building me up to was that you do make it your own. And I was afraid that that's not what I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
You know, I was supposed to stick to the script. There it is. But, you know, for me, and this being my first experience, I could stop now and be good. That is how good this experience was for me. And here I go again.
Yeah.
But I think with you and with all of you, all that was in the show, the dedication, the professionalism was just so awesome and so spot on. Everybody was like professional. Everybody showed up when they were supposed to and did what it was that they were supposed to. So that was a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
And
love
again,
to say,
go
Camila,
ahead.
we also learned from you because I know there were times when
Yeah.
I ran lines and when you were like, well, I'm going to say it like this so you can react like this. And that was helpful to me too. So, yes, this may have been your first production, but you jumped in, like you just hit the road running. You were a very quick study, and you know, whatever people or whatever Eleanor told you or said to you, you absorbed like a sponge. And you know, nobody would have known that this was your first production.
Yeah.
I mean, that you helped us just as much as we helped you.
Right.
Mhm.
Right, because
you.
with my character with no lines, and when you would make the eye contact, and I just wanted to say, that's just how good I am. And what?
Man, the fact that Jumi knew everybody's lines.
I sure did. I sure did. I was the line
Jumi
police.
would come back and be like, Jumi, you know I missed that. Yeah, I know you missed
Yeah.
that line.
I'm backstage reading everybody's lines. I could be everyone's understudy.
That's a
Well,
good quality.
one thing that I tried to do was to document what I can. So I'm going to one of our lighter moments in the dressing room was when, and I know people that were in the audience are cracking up when they see these videos that I post, but was how we were hashtag all black cast. We would sing. We had gospel Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
You know, girl, you look the day when Kelly said Selena walked in there with what are the heels?
Her red
Oh,
bottom.
yeah, the red bottoms. I said that too. Yeah.
Stop me
And
in my
she came
tracks.
from church bringing us that holiness.
Yeah.
Yes, but this was one light moment. This video. Stand by.
Oh, Frankie, you got what I need. Just a friend. When you say he's just a friend. When you say he's just a friend. Oh, Frankie.
I need to know who is Frankie, and I missed the beginning of that because when I started singing, I was like, "Oh, we doing, oh baby." Then I was like, "Who is Frankie?"
Kelly, right? Was he the guy that came to see you, right?
Frank is one of my friends that I became friends with back in the day. He was in the state's attorney's office when I was in the public defender's office. And he's just been a friend over the years. And
got it. Wink, wink. Okay.
So why are you blushing? Why are you blushing?
I'm not.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I just wish, each of us have said the same thing in that this chemistry at this time, Wanisha, you were there the entire time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stop saying understudy. Like you embodied Janet, but you were there the entire time.
Yes.
First of all, come and fly in your 4 to 6 inch heels. I just envy. I think after COVID, I was like, I'm never wearing heels again. I don't want to. And to see y'all walking those heels, I don't know how you do it, but you were a fly girl. And the fact that you took the time to be there, like I just appreciate that. And to help with that night we were running lines. My whole thing is I deal in fear. I dance with it. I get, Jumi, you would hear me before we go out. Let's do this. It's like a boxer. Let's do this. And Evan would be cracking up. I have been doing that since college. Like I just telling one of my guy friends in New York who did not make it down. I said, Ian, I said, let's do this. He's like, Mills, you still doing it? I said, yes. I said, every time I would do that. And I love that, it was for me being the last to hit the stage, the nerves would just keep coming. Y'all coming, changing back and forth. And I'm still sitting there like, when is my time? So I really had to pump myself up. But, showing people the behind the scenes and the chemistry, you cannot recreate this. This is like what we have had is lightning in a bottle. Is there anybody that want to share any, best moments or, favorite moments or any flubs that cracked you up?
Can I just share one thing really quickly?
Yes.
So in Act 2, at the beginning of Act 2, when Janet Logan comes out and says, "Oh, Mrs. Dunbar, everything is lovely." So whenever that scene started, Camilla had a special place she would stand in the corner in the dark before she came out. And when I came out, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stand where Camilla was standing. I'm just going to see how it was. I was standing there, and when I went to go kind of like, because I didn't want to hit the light, I wanted to slide in the little part that was dark, and there was a huge splinter, and it stuck me in my behind.
You change your blocking. Change blocking the performance. You don't do that.
Back.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, how is Camilla doing this? Because I wanted to be in that space just like you, so I could just go right out there, but it totally did not work for me.
Listen, my curtain was so thick, it probably was sticking me. I ain't feel it.
Really.
Oh, that skirt, the costume.
Those stairs were so loud, y'all. Listen, Jaquel and Jumi, when you all were finishing up your scene, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. As soon as I hear the music kick up and them start moving the kitchen, that's when I'm gonna try to step up these steps because they creaked so loud. Like everybody's gonna hear this.
I had that problem during your monologue because I'm supposed to catch it, right, and then go down. But I'm like, it's one of the quieter parts of the show, and it's like, it was a beautiful, strong set, but those steps
were rinky dink for real. Wanisha, do you have a peach or do you have a moment where something? Here's the question. Did anybody have a moment where they almost lost it cracking up? I know I did. But...
Every time when Alpha went out the door, when Catherine went out the door, it's like I had to turn towards the door so that the audience wouldn't watch me laugh. And especially if Robin snatched the coat and I had to turn, it's like, okay, let me not laugh. Come out of character.
What'd you say, Wanisha?
No, I was just gonna say that everyone knows that Act 2, Scene 4 was the place where magic would happen or whatever would come out that night. So I just had to pray like, God, let me say the lines that I need to say about this note, and because every line is so like integral in that scene. A time where I was about to lose it had to be Jumi. One night, when Jumi screamed out, "Yes, it does!"
Yes.
Dramatic that like I nearly lost it. Ooh, I feel like I would never forget that because I had everyone breaking character, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And that actually started behind the scenes. That actually started behind the scenes, and it carried onto the stage. And I didn't even know how to react. I was laughing at that. Yeah, that was a mess.
Context. It was killing the rest of us, and we didn't even know half the story.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was so
I was
funny.
so glad. Well, I thought I was doing well because I have Evan, who's a big
Yes, he's
leader,
so
and I
big.
can laugh behind him. I could just turn my head and laugh in his chest.
Right.
But the audience,
Right.
from what I heard, they saw everything that was happening.
Right.
And Stacy, who's a producer, one of the producers, she was like, "Yeah, your dress was shaking so much from laughing." So there was no hiding it.
Right.
And that was the one day I did not have any Kleenex left in my purse. I was going to turn it into a cry, and I couldn't even do it because I had no Kleenex.
Selena, what about you?
What? So what?
So the question is, did you have a moment where you almost kind of lost it, laughing or?
I think it was also like the last scene, like act 2, scene 4, where the whole Bobby don't. I always try not to laugh at that. Like I'm always like holding the letter up to my face, just trying to not laugh. So yeah.
I always have to turn around when she says it because I'm being proposed to in the middle of the stage, and I'm like, "Oh God!" And I have a line, and I have to say after that. I'm just like, "Oh God, how am I going to say this line?"
Right.
So while Alpha while Robin and Jaquel were killing it in Act 2, Scene 4, when Jumi, Selena, and I are in the library. So what y'all don't know is every night I would choose. What book did I get, Selena?
It was the Bible.
I would pick up the Bible. And whatever page I just flipped to, I would write down what that chapter was in verse.
Oh, wow.
What are we doing tonight? 2 nights, I think it was Exodus, or like Joshua.
Yeah. And it was Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Oh, what about the night? Oh, Jumi, we thought we were gonna lose you, girl. When it was hot. And so we just mouthed them, but we really talking. So I was like, "Look, check on your girl. Look,
I thought I was going to pass out. It was so hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm about to go down here on this step.
Helping.
Check on
It
your
was
girl.
getting hot towards the end.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And then Evan, he couldn't keep his jacket on. He was just like,
Yeah, he had to take
we're
the
both
coat.
like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, Evan, please don't fall because you're a big rock, so don't fall. You gotta take everyone down with you.
Right.
Yeah, when I looked, and
But
he had that coat laying over the couch. I was like, where'd that coat come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not doing this. No, but speaking of bloopers, I remember this is one night where I think Camilla, I don't know what happened, but you go, okay, and that was the funniest thing. I don't even remember what scene that was.
Yes, it was like she took a pause because she forgot her line, and so she took a pause. She nodded her head, and she was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God, I think that was Act 2, Scene 4. Everything happened in
I
that.
think so.
Anything and everything. Lisa, what you think?
In our scene, Jaquel, it was the first night we had a big reaction to Dr. Dunbar was my father. And somebody was like, "Oh!" And we looked at each other and had to go. We were supposed to be fighting. But if I was like, I can't look at her or I'll fight. That was the very first time we had a reaction to that. And it was just, oh my God.
Yeah, that was funny.
Serious. And then Tiffany, her night, see, you're talking about people tweak lines or sometimes because it's a live performance. It's not the same every night. And the first time she went, "Janet Logan is coming here." I forgot what I was supposed to say. Something like if you had objections or whatever. It was just so different from Selena. And then like that whole energy. That's the first time she hit me with that. Was not a rehearsal.
She did her voice coming here. Like,
right. Janet Logan, just already like, Janet Logan is coming here.
Well, there was a time when it was me, Lisa, and Selena, and we were talking about, Selena was supposed to be talking about her dress, and Selena forgot her line, so she turns, she was like, "Woo, look at that." And she started talking about her dress, and thank God Lisa was just like, let me take it from here.
Yeah, Lisa was so good at like jumping in and just remembering where to.
Yes.
So amazing.
It really was.
Whenever I
Where
was
that came
with
from.
Tiffany,
Yeah.
whenever I was with Tiffany in Act 2, Scene 1, she takes my hand a lot. Like Gracie takes my hand a lot and drags me, but Tiffany was dragging me. I mean, they made it funnier because I'm literally like, oh, I'm not acting right now, guys. I'm being dragged.
It was hard in our scenes, Lisa. I was trying not to laugh. I'm trying to be mean to you, and I'm like, but I like her. How can I be? And I keep every time we got close, I'm like, oh, please don't make me laugh. But it was so fun.
It was
the
fun.
scene with you and Jaquel when you would, and then you would be whimpering, then you looking over at her to see, make sure she gets the sherry.
We were
That was
dying
fun.
Backstage every time.
Every single time you did it, we
And I couldn't look, and I knew she was doing it, and I couldn't look, and the audience is reacting, and I'm trying not to react, and I can hear her. It was just too funny, Lisa. It was so fake and so funny.
Because I just didn't understand why she would cry. It's like Robin in the coat. You have to make something out of a moment that you don't understand, you don't get. That whole thing came out of the fact that that coat was too small and she didn't like it, and so she went into the thing. I did not understand a bit why Grace would suddenly start crying, like for real. So I had to make it into just like a huge thing, you know.
Yeah.
There was
Listen,
one night.
I want to think. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm
There was
sorry.
one or two nights where no one laughed at that, and I was just like, "What? What? That's like one of the funniest thing in the play." But I feel like we had a lot of night. Well, not a lot of nights. Some nights where people were just they didn't know it was a comedy, or like they weren't sure if they were supposed to laugh. Like just really weirdly polite audiences. I'm like, it's funny.
Right. I know.
Yeah, one part I thought that people should have laughed more, and they didn't when Lisa said, "Oh, chauffeurs always count."
Yeah.
That was my favorite line. That was good. For me, Jimmy, it's like has this line. Gracie says, "Well, how many times do you get to defy, authority and run out with your lover and all of that?" And you're like, "I don't know, 2, 3 times."
Exactly.
Right. That one man, finally, he was like,
Finally got it. And I always thought it was
that Gracie couldn't help because she's not supposed to get it, right? She's supposed to move on. So
Yeah.
she allowed the joke, but like, oh, come on, people. There's time in there to sneak a laugh.
I always appreciated Lisa for that because I feel like you were the only one who pointed out, like, that's supposed to be funny.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Another grateful moment for me in learning from Wanisha was, I'll try to do things my way, but it's usually harder. It's the harder way. I take the long way, and it's stupid, right? So I shared with them that I hurt my knee. I really hurt my knee this time, but my knee had been bothering me the whole show. And I could not figure out how to act to pick up that letter. First of all, it's dark, so I got to find it. So what I would do was after I spill, I would try to back up and keep backing up and looking to see when I would see it. The night I watched you, Wanisha just turned around, saw it, and picked it up and turned around. I was like, why didn't I think to do that? I mean, my knees are crying. One time I stepped on the front of the skirt and I was like, oh, here we go. I'm going down.
Another really funny moment with you, Wanisha, is when you look at Kelly and say, you look down and you look up her right in her face and say, "Your mother." I thought that was good. And then Kelly reacts and says, "Mother-in-law."
Yeah.
Jaquel, do you remember, how, and again, I'm the newbie, so we have been working the lighting. We had gotten it a rhythm with what light when we were going to be dark and sitting on the stage. Then like the last week, it was shining came and that spotlight was out, and we going, is that light supposed to be there?
Right. Yeah, it was right on your forehead.
Is this light? Are we supposed to have another moment? What is that?
Right.
And the book that we used over there, Kelly, all those pages, those naked people. Kelly would be like, in that Suge night,
Yeah,
Suge Knight.
Kelly was the historian of the Dunbar family. Every night we'd open the book, and Kelly whatever page it was, she would point to it and give the history. That was Dr. Dunbar's great 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 grandfather. You know. And there were some nude pictures. It was just so funny. She was
And
making
that's
up
Malcolm
stories.
X. The one night she said, "That's Malcolm X." Y'all, how could I forget one of the biggest flubs? Jumi, you remember me? I was like, I got this. And Kelly, every night, Kelly and I'll be like, Kelly, what's my line? And my line, she go, cliche.
Oh yeah.
So this one night, we played it and we letting it play out. And I said, because we laughing, we kikiing. That's Oprah, that's Gail, that's that kikiing laughing. I said, what's my line? She said, cliche. All of a sudden, everything just got quiet. And I'm looking around, Lisa looking around. I'm like, somebody ain't ring the bell.
You're right.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm boiling. Somebody ain't ring the bell.
I think that was on Sherry's night, and she be messing up the cues. And
I messed it up, Barbara. I forgot the line. They were waiting on me.
The line, but she should know when I'm standing there. She has it marked in her book. So she knows when the bell is supposed to ring, whether you say the line or not.
Oh, well, all I know is
the bell should have been ringing when she saw me come out there.
I think they were still waiting,
because y'all were at the door.
Gonna say her line before they rang the bell.
Yeah, they were trying to give me grace, right? And I was like, I don't know who messing up the night. What is the problem?
The cliche line is what me and Jaquel used to go to the door.
Right, and that the cliche is the one that I use to bring the mints in and run into Gracie.
I need Selena to click back on, because when we move the scene forward, we go up in the library. So again, I'm mad. I'm like, them new people up there, them new people. I stepped up on that stage and I looked at Selena. I said, oh shit. That was me, wasn't it? She said, it's okay, Camilla. That's all Selena just, Camilla, you did good. It's okay. It was like, don't blow up. I was dumbfounded for the rest of the scene. I was like, I'm ready
when you dropped
somebody out, and it was me.
when I didn't hear the line, and I said, well, maybe I should just say whisper, cliche, but by that time somebody else kicked in.
Yeah.
Kelly would try to. Kelly will do this, and you would think I would get a clue. No, I was like, somebody in my head messing up. They ain't ring the bell.
Oh my goodness! That same night, there was something else that happened, and Robin was like trying to cue you. She was like, Harlem. Supposed to say, come around here.
No, it's gone. Let that be the truth for me. If it ain't there, it's not there. It's not coming. I don't know from whence it's gone.
Right. They're just sometimes you can escape, get the line back, and sometimes nope, you got to move on.
Yeah. Keep it going. I need a Lisa in this moment. Just keep it going, because I ain't got it. Look, I'm sorry. Right.
And it's always rough when you mess up a line that you've known all the time, and you don't know why that one left that particular night, and then you'll do good on some things that you weren't even really focusing on. So it's a battle on the stage, but you know that you're fighting to keep your lines, because it's going to affect the person before you and after you, so you're really fighting to get it right, so it can all, come together. I know Jumi saved me a couple times. I think I was telling my dad, I was like, Jumi said, my father is, what was that one, Jumi, you said, my father is not hard-headed. Yeah, something you said about you.
I don't remember.
I know. So it was my line. It said, your father, you get that stubbornness from your father. And Jumi said, and my father was stubborn, right?
Yeah, she didn't say that line. I was just like, is she going to say it? I was like, hey, you probably think I'm stubborn, huh? You're like,
right. You're stubborn, just like your father.
Yeah.
Well, I only wanted to keep you ladies an hour, and we are coming close to the end of the hour. On my normal show on IG, I usually have a rapid fire segment, and then I have a segment that's the final segment called "Your Lashes Have Expired." That was taken from my very first time on stage. I abhor bad fake lashes, so I've created a segment because I wished bad lashes would go away. So the story with that segment and what I'm asking you all is what is something, it could be, really light to really deep, that you want to go away and never come back. Lisa, let's start with you. So your lashes have expired. What is something in life? Like my guests have, deep as racism, as light as men in skinny jeans or in Air Force Ones.
Got it.
Bad hairstyle, bads.
But I'll go a little deep. My lashes are just like the amount of extra work that we have to do as Black people in theater. To get our show across. And they always say, well, you have to write your own stuff. And, there's so many people, they don't have to do all of that. They just have to be. And sometimes I see, and it makes us better and more creative. But sometimes it's like, dang, I just can't come out here and do my thing and go home. There's always that extra work for us. And that I would like for us to be able to choose that when we want to and not have to deal with it when we don't.
Yeah. Right. I hope that comes sooner than later. What about you, Kelly?
Oh, I'm gonna choose something much lighter. Something that I wish would go away and never come back. Fanny packs. I don't know why they came back. They were gone at one point.
They back strong too.
No, right? I can't.
With a vengeance.
I'm like, what is the draw, people? No, that's a fashion no for me. So, I wish fanny packs would just disappear.
Okay, thank you, Jaquel.
I'm gonna keep it light. I wish robocalling and marketing calls would go away. I switch phones and they still hit you up. And the fact that sometimes you even have to go and tell them to stop calling you. I was like, why do we have to take that step to stop the calls coming? I just think that's crazy that we have to do that on the phones, on the internet. I mean, I know people have to market and get their business out, but we should have the option. If we want to get emails from you, we should be able to go to you or call you and get the and keep getting the calls. I just think that's over. I really think that has something to do with Congress, that they allow they allow them, to do that. Probably those companies who are, putting their money to those, those lobbyists and stuff like that, because they're allowed to do all of that. And I'm thinking another one, those high priced pharmacies that. Because I remember that commercial, the pharma commercial with them BPMs and BPAs or something, who charge all the extra money for the pharmacy, for the prescriptions for people. I mean, that's kind of highway robbery, but I guess I went kind of deep on that. But mostly marketing calls. And I'll leave it at that.
I agree though, because 2 weeks ago I was like, maybe I'm getting so many spam calls. I'm like, I thought I signed up for the do not call registry.
Right.
So I called it again to make sure.
Right.
Like, your number has been on here since 2005. So what? So is there another number I got?
Wow.
Right. Barbara,
that's crazy.
I don't know. I think I'll go with you with the lashes. Sometimes they're so over the top, and I wonder sometimes if people actually know what they look like when they have butterfly wings.
Yes.
And I just actually wondered, do you actually know?
You can't.
I can see if it was a theme, if you're doing something for the theme, but you have to watch. Have you ever seen an episode of the Real Housewives of Benton Road? And a lady cuts a piece of weave and put them on for lashes. And she said, I can't see anything. And the lashes are way down here.
Wait, is the Real Housewives of Benton Road strictly on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. I did look it up.
Yeah. So
I'm going to have to find that. Oh, that's funny. That even sounds funny. Without even watching it, that's funny.
Yeah. My aunt had these lashes on, and my dad said, what the hell was she thinking? She looked like Chloe the Goldfish.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yumi, what is your what is something you want to see go away and never come back?
So, as you guys know, I'm the wigologist.
Yeah.
No, so the thing I'm hoping will go away, especially with Black women who wear full lace wigs, is the over exaggerated edges that they do.
The sculpted.
It gets to the point where people even get edges or baby hairs rather.
I was gonna say baby hair.
Baby hair.
Tattooed on their forehead. It's not that serious. I just don't understand why.
Did you say tattooed?
Yeah, they get.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Foreheads, and it's really ridiculous. And the reason why people do it, well, the reason why they were supposed to do it is to kind of like hide the lace better. But now it's like we need to have dramatic, baby hair. They're not even baby hairs anymore. They're bangs. So yeah,
that was a style back in the 70s and in the 60s to have the baby hair.
Yeah,
it was their hair
come back
then. Now it's just overly dramatic, and it's kind of only known to Black women, and it just I hate it for us.
I hate it for us too. I agree. All right, Wanisha.
So I'm gonna have to go deep. Y'all know me. I'm gonna be deep. Oh,
go there.
Say racism. I would say racism, and I say that in relation to the show as well, because there was a scene that I had with Gracie where, while I was doing the interview as Janet Logan, I took it in, but I didn't really think of, the full impact of it. The scene where I'm asking her about has she ever, been to New York? And then she talks about how they went to New York, and the chauffeur took them up. And she says something like, we took the chauffeur so we didn't have to ride the Jim Crow car.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. And if you're just listening to it on the surface, you're like, oh, that sounds very classist, right? But it didn't hit me until recently when I just started reading this book called Traveling While Black. Mm-hmm. And it talks about the history of Black people and travel in this country. It came out just a couple of years ago. And it goes back from talking about the railroad all the way up into current day. And it starts in the 1800s. And what they talked about a lot was the Jim Crow car and what it actually meant for Black people. Even if you were affluent, you had to sit in the car. They would pay for tickets to travel first class and still put in the Jim Crow car, where it was, just dirty. It was not only just that, it was unsafe. The Jim Crow cars would be made of wood, and the rest of the train would be steel. So there was a time period where there were a lot of accidents, right? And when the train accident happened, the Jim Crow cars would be crushed because they were made of wood. In 1918, I think there was an incident where about 100 Black people died in one train car. And that was something very prominent that they tried to abolish because of all of that happened. And so it's just, sad when we look at a lot of what's happening, with the Supreme Court and the rollbacks of some of the protections of civil rights. It reminds me of how much our ancestors had to fight to get those protections. And it started back in the 1800s with them trying to get equal rights by traveling by the train. And so I'm just thankful that the show helped me see things in a different light and learn so much. And I just hope that our nation just continues to progress, because we can't go back to that time. Our ancestors fought too hard, too much. They shouldn't have had to. And so I just hope that what they experienced and what happened isn't in vain. And more people should look into history and how it shapes our present.
Yeah,
that is deep, but so true. I felt like I learned some stuff too with this show. Selena, what you think?
She says she's on the Metro, but she's going to type her answer.
Okay. Gonna type it. So that means I need to look on here in the comments, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like type something up.
Typing, I have a question for you.
Microaggressions, all day long, just little bits by themselves would be fine, but then they just all pile up.
Yes. What were you gonna say, Barbara?
A question for you ladies, and it's kind of pertaining to the black white thing. What do you guys think of integrating a 90-year-old theater that only do 2 black shows, or only have done 2 black shows with all black cast in 90 years, opposed to establishing our own theaters for black people?
I think there's room for both. I think there should be black theater, and I think we should be allowed everywhere, because it's not just the fact that there only been 2 all black casts. There are very few black people on this stage. I've been around a while. I know I've seen this theater before, and it is no accident that this is like the very first time I've been on the stage, and I've been around here since the late 90s. We don't do shows that we can be in, and if you don't sing like me, then you're out. There was nothing. They wouldn't even cast. That's why I was talking about. I wanted all of us to start going around auditions together, because when you're by yourself, they can't figure out what to do with you. Right. Like if they might say, oh, well, maybe the mother and daughter could be black, or maybe, because unless you know people that want to work with you, a lot of times you're hanging out there and they just don't know what to do with the black actor. So I think we just need to be everywhere, personally. Yeah. Be in these theaters, and also have our own work that understands, our lives as well.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Touche. Anybody else want to comment?
No, I was going to say, Barbara, that's a great point for being brave to speak out about it. So many people are just comfortable with getting cast, and they're like, as long as I'm cast, I'm not
forget everybody else.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
Forget everybody else. But you bring up a great point. It is something that is profound for a theater that only black shows in 90 years, especially in Alexandria, a town that has been, has had a strong.
It's historically black. It has a rich history.
Yes.
I want to see all of you back on that stage again, but I also want to see you in black spaces.
Yes. Right. And I would say, if anyone from LTA is watching, why not have a black show every year?
True.
It would be nice. And that's just one. Like, let's have a couple. Let's, what I'm saying? Let's have diverse casts for your predominantly white shows.
Yeah, and don't wait for the black show to cast black people. There could be more black people in Freaky Friday, right?
Well, wait for black people, but there is something to be said about black culture on stage. Yes, and if you look at if you look at Kennedy Center, all the major professional theaters, they have at least one black show every season. Yeah. Arena. And so if the professional stages can do it, surely community can match that energy, because those are the stages that we are trying to get to. Right. And so we can be able to be in shows like this. We can be in professional spaces.
So we have to start buying tickets and going to the shows and auditioning for all shows, not just black shows. Yeah. And that's going to be part of it. And, once again, the audience has to be diverse. When the audience starts to, my opinion, when the audience starts to be more diverse, the productions will start being more diverse. LTA is a business, and they're catering to their customers. That's who they're catering to. And whether it's a black-white thing, one can argue either way. But if you look at it as strictly from a business perspective, there's the people who buy tickets and fill those seats are their clients, and that's who they're trying to make happy.
And if you only market to those people, those are the only people who will know about it and show up.
Right.
But once again, you have to. I mean, you can go both ways with that. Once again, I don't want to get on the LTA bandwagon. But I'm saying is, if they're never coming into we don't know the history of the marketing. Right. We don't know that. We're only looking at one snapshot with one show. So you have to look at the history of their marketing and what they've been doing to get diverse people into the chairs.
I will say this. I do hope that the tide is turning for them and all of the theaters.
We know it's not going to be 23, 24, but that's already been slated.
Truly, we know that. But what I was going to say
to come out for a few.
We all should.
Yeah, asked us to come out for that one show. Orient Express, and I think we should do it because she clearly made a point of bringing, of waiting to approach all of us, and that's the kind of movements we need to make.
Michelle said, if we do it, they will come, right? Yeah. In order to build an audience, you have to cater to them. We had a lot of people come out to this show that supported us, right? So all of them are asking, when is the next one, right? Like this. And if you can't point to the next one, you lose that momentum. And like you said, we see what 23, 24 looks like. Then that's how you have to build momentum by keeping the audience that you had come in. And so if it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like you have to commit to that programming in order to bring the audience, the diverse audience as well.
Yeah.
I also think that
this was a good time also to just acknowledge what Eleanor has done for LTA and in bringing these plays there, because both of the Black plays that have been brought to LTA, the whole entire history of the 90 years of LTA, have been brought there and directed by Eleanor Tapscott. And she's a director who was hard on us because she knew she could get what she needed to get out of us. She knew we were capable of doing it. But you also have to give her credit for being the one to be out there and to have the courage enough to go and push for those shows to be there and direct them. And I believe in Jaquel, you can correct me if I'm wrong. At the last meeting, her position at LTA was the only contested position. And she won, she got that position back. She was voted back in. But I think that speaks volumes also. If we want to continue to have those plays brought there, I think she should be credited with spearheading that, because she is the one who brought the 2 Black plays there. So I have to give her props for that and for being in there and being the only person of color on the I'm assuming board.
Looking at that board,
she gets proud, and I made sure I gave her flowers, like, because that is significant. But Kelly, you dropped some tea there about a contested position.
Yeah.
I will say something though. I think
I'm sorry, Jimmy, before you say that, I will say that Jaquel was at the board. So Jaquel, correct me if I'm wrong in that, because I was not there. Jaquel was there.
No, you're correct. As I had let y'all know, I mean, I went so I spy so I can see everything, and I want to know what's going on. But so at the board meeting was the annual elections. There was only one candidate for each governorship. The only one that had more than one was Eleanor's position, which is the governor of seasonal planning. The seasonal planning committee is the committee responsible for bringing the shows to LTA. Over the year, they read hundreds of plays, and then they vote and they decide. I think they might bring it out to the population, but at least the committee, they're the ones who have the responsibility to finding the shows, and then either the governor, I'm not sure about this part, but either the governor or probably all of the members get to vote to see which shows come, and that's the process. And there was another woman who wanted to be the governor for that committee, Eleanor, and another woman, and Eleanor did win. All the other positions only have one candidate, and the position that had no candidate at all was the governor for membership services. Nobody. And that right now, not right now, but last month, that was Stacy's job. Stacy was the governor of membership, and she obviously did not want to go back, but that's the one that's still open.
Well, I am still mulling over, but I think I am going to become a member. And one of the things is I'm never a silent partner. I'm going to ask the question, even if it sounds ignorant, because I might be ignorant until I know. But, you all know this is my town. So it hurts me that I went to that elementary school a block away and I'd never heard of the theater.
Really?
Right there. and I don't even know that I even, if we drove by it, I must have been so young I never paid attention. So, if they are, in which it sounds like they are opening to changing the tide, there are some things that hopefully I can help affect change. I don't want to sit on a board or sit on a committee with people who aren't open. And then I will quickly probably dismiss myself. But I'm going to give it a chance. I've been thinking about it. And for me, it's scheduling. And, being 46, I really have to schedule my rest. Like that's a thing, right? So I don't see myself doing a production as big as this while I'm working, during the regular
during the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if it's something shorter that I may be able to commit to, but so that's what I'm saying. So planning and planning my rest is huge, but I think, the meetings are so, not so many, that I couldn't. And it is my town. And one thing, I've lived in Connecticut. I worked at ESPN for a few years, and my friends there were like, we got to visit Alexandria because the way you talk about, I was like, it's on the water, da 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 da. And I'm like, we can't go out like this. And I know too many people that I think can help with changing things if they are open to it. So I'm gonna sniff around and see. But again, I don't want to be the one that's like, crying wolf, and I don't have anything no solution or not solution minded in that.
That's kind of goes into what I wanted to say. I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, as the Black community goes, when it comes to, if we feel like we're not going to be accepted somewhere, we just don't even try. So it's like, we want to make these changes, we want to make these things happen, but not a lot of us are going to those meetings or going to see if we can actually be on the board, or volunteering to help out with a show, or volunteering to do stuff because you feel like it wouldn't be done for you if the shoes were turned. But sometimes it is. So I feel like if we want to make change, even though this has been how it's been for history, you have to make sure your voice is heard. And sometimes it's really tiring, but if you want to make those changes happen, you have to actually put yourself out there and not think about being rejected or being the only colored being in that space. So that's just one thing I wanted to say. If we want to make these changes happen, we actually have to be the ones to do it. And then they can start changing. We can't just sit in the background complaining as loud as we can for change when our people are not actually, they're already admitting defeat because
Right.
I hope I'm making any sense. So we are the ones to put our foot in there to make
Black Orient Express, y'all.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Or like,
look, I'm gonna say this: if y'all down, I'm down.
Let's do it. I'll come to y'all. Even if you don't all get in, if somebody gets in, then the job is done.
Then the job is done.
No, we need at least 4 people.
Right.
Get off and going to the board meeting. Thank you for doing that this year.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Eleanor's position was the only one contested. We wouldn't have known that. So thank you for going to the board meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no problem.
It gave me pause to see the board of governors, the picture wall.
Oh,
every day, every night we came in, and I go, wow.
And that's another thing, though. I mean, it could just be that no one except for Eleanor had tried to get those positions because they automatically assumed they weren't going to get it. There have been a bunch of auditions where I'm like, oh, they're not going to look for anyone like me, so I just didn't audition. So,
and you get yourself, you get in your own way.
Yeah, exactly. So we just got to change that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew what I was going to expect at the meeting. I was tired that day. It was the Sunday or Monday of Juneteenth, and I wasn't going to go, but I was like, let me just go because I had in my mind all month that I was going to go. And I went, and I told y'all after they did all the talking and voting and stuff, I stood up and introduced myself. I planted my feet, and they're like, I'm here. I'm here. So, and that was something that I decided to do. And I really think the show, although there's been two, when they look at the numbers, when they look at the feedback, I think they're going to use this as a basis for going forward. Maybe I'm being naive, but I do. I mean, they have to look at the success of this show when they vote or say yes or no. We can't do it this year. And and that's why it was so important for us to do so well at this show, because if it was anything less than what it was, they would have used us not to bring another show. And now they can use us as a reason to bring another show. But it has to start. It has to start somewhere. And in order to be a governor, you've got to be in LTA a couple years. You know, they have a process. I mean, it's a business, right? And you have to do this, that, and the other. You have to do something for a couple years in order to get there. So Eleanor paid her dues. She had a mission. I can't speak for her, but she obviously had a mission. And she was willing to go in there and start at the bottom in order to get up to where she is on the governor's board. That was a process for her. It didn't take overnight. She put in work for a couple of years to get to that governorship. It was years to get there. She didn't just walk in and become a governor.
Right. And Stacey explained it's levels. And for me, you know, this was a YOLO experience of sorts for me, but I'm like, I'm thinking about something else. What's the next thing I want to do? You know, can I commit a few years to do, you know, and especially if it's pushback, you know, I'll listen to you the first time, but if I smell it and it don't smell right, I'm going to call it what it is. And then I might have to dismiss myself, you know, but I'm going to try, because you know, it's such a great space. Like if we just think of it aesthetically, and you know, the people who volunteer want to be there. I mean, the fact that we were all found, you know, and put together and put on that stage. And for all of the people who said, this was a great show, when is the next one? I would love to have that be something people keep coming back to, if it benefits everybody, you know, not just a few people. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm down for whatever. I'm down for Chicago in the fall. Somebody can plan that and just tell me where to spend my money. I will do that. Juanisha, what you say?
No, I was saying I'm down for like, you know, I'm down for using my voice for change, like you said, June. I also am aware that Black women have been putting movements on our shoulders for centuries.
And we tired.
It shouldn't take us to digging, because if people want something, they can find it, right? If you want your governors to look a certain way, you can go out and have the outreach in the community, because we're there, right? So I want to commend Eleanor for putting it on her back. But we shouldn't have to carry the weight on our back when we're in the show, promoting the show, you know. So all I ask is for people to meet us halfway. So I'll do that work. But I'm also about creating our own spaces, right? Redirecting the energy of fighting towards also creating places to where we could have our own theater one day. So
and look, you know, all I gotta do is tell my people, and we're gonna have a crowd. Have a crowd. At least on opening night.
Right. Oh, it is a writer here.
Lisa, get to work. Start writing past all of us.
Right.
And then Jaquel, get on the board of governors. Then we're going to do Lisa.
Yes. Well, ladies, I appreciate you for taking the time to join me on this podcast. I definitely, it was all, the whole show was good, but it really got good this last 20 minutes. And I was like, are we going to
be a quick segment, but no.
This is the extended version, but I welcome any of you anytime. You know, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing the podcasting thing. I'm coming up on my 4th season of Just Being Honest with Mills Lane. And I always have phenomenal guests and I always learn something from them. And I have learned something from each of you. So whenever you're in a project or whenever you just want to have a conversation that you don't mind a couple extra eyes looking at it,
No.
please let me know and we can have a whole show and talk about other things like Black joy and, you know, where we, you know, I can do my rapid fire. What's your favorite book? What's your favorite line? You know, finish this line. Can we talk? For a minute? I know that y'all gonna know that.
You know.
Yes, see. But I appreciate each of you. Enjoy the next 2 months of summer. I'm for those of you who didn't know, I may have to have knee surgery. I'll find out Monday what's happening with my knee as I fell down my steps and all of the things. There's a trail of dead rose petals, so it looked romantic, but on the step. That's my life. Hashtag.
Oh no.
And tore my meniscus, but you know, this is how Mills Lane rolls. This is my life. But I
can't get up.
Huh? What
you said? You were like, I'm falling and I can't get up.
Girl, I waited. I was like, okay, I'm still alive. Okay, we're good. Do I need to call the ambulance? No. Okay, what? You know, I got to go through the whole
wow.
When you're a single girl in the city and you see these steps behind me, those were the steps.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh.
So just thank you all for taking the time. My people love you. Thank you for taking the time to take pictures with them and creating memories for them, because for them, we were somebody, you know, we're somebody, but you know what I'm saying? Like I took a picture with the cat and I love making other people feel good. And you guys did that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Hey, look, I'm going to definitely be in touch. If somebody wants to plan the Chicago trip, I will send you whatever money. I just hate planning trips. But I want us to be in full force and go see the Nacirema Society, because I want to see what they do.
I would love to see what they do with it.
If somebody has the information, drop it into the chat, because I don't know who brought it up first, whether it was Jumi or Robin. I don't know who brought it up.
Juanisha told me about it, and I told you.
Oh, okay. Well, drop it in the chat so we can at least take a look at it.
Yeah, Eleanor's going. I don't know what day she's going, but
Eleanor said for sure she's going. She was like, it's at the Goodman. I was like, all right.
The Goodman Theater in Chicago.
Okay.
From mid-September to mid-October.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We should look soon though, because you know how the tickets go. Like the closer you wait till the date, the harder to get a ticket and the more expensive.
They haven't even cast it yet.
Oh,
they haven't casted it yet?
Really?
No, it's not till September. Yeah, you're right.
What'd you
wow.
say? Oh. What'd you say, Monisha?
I did a Google search. I'm like FBI. I did a search and I found one person who's cast. She's a professional actress, so she already put it on her website.
Oh,
shit.
What role is that? What role did she get cast for?
Goodman hasn't. They've only showed the director so far.
Yeah.
So which role was cast? Monisha, which role was cast?
She didn't say. All she has is "See Me Next" in Nacirema Society.
Oh, okay.
They're not gonna be better than us, though.
No.
The wigs might be, though.
What'd you say? What you say?
Yeah.
I said the wigs might be, though.
That's a whole look. When y'all come back on the show, we're gonna break down the wigs.
Right.
Look, all I know is my edges are saved. They are saved. Thanks to Juanisha.
So
what you say?
I thought we was gonna try to get into the Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, yes, we gotta do that, y'all.
Yeah,
well, auditions are in January.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Our wigs were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because Camilla, not Camilla. Sorry, Khadidra is she's so wonderful. She's
that ain't her name even, but we're gonna keep it that. we're gonna keep it that way.
Okay.
No, she's a wonderful person, and we can't wait to work with her again.
Yeah, she was a great stylist. Great stylist with great input. We appreciated her very much.
I swear.
Shout out to Kadira. Shout out to Kadira. Yay. Shout out to Kadira.
All right.
All right.
have a great evening.
You too.
I'm not sure how to end this, but I'm gonna end it.
Okay.
I love you all. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this one of the top experiences of my life. I mean it. All right, I'm just gonna hang up. All right, you hang up first.
No, you
Bye,
go.
y'all.
See ya. Good night.